We are live on all the things. Let me get our faces up here. Boom. We are good to go.
All right. Let me verify all the socials.
Yeah, YouTube and Facebook are definitely up. Instagram says we're live.
All right. Welcome to 034 Motorsport 0BS Q&A live chat session. I'm Javad Shadzi and this is Nate Stewart. We're here to answer all your questions about all things 034. Anything else you'd like to ask as well? Certainly all automotive topics are available to discuss. We are deprioritizing status update questions. If you want to know when something is going to be done or ready, we may put that off to the end of the session, which will likely mean we probably won't get to it because we are typically getting plenty of topical questions that we can answer. But we will do our best. Sometimes you guys cleverly sneak them in and I can't resist. But for the most part, please be aware of that. Don't get too offended if you start raging in the comments.
Right.
And what else?
And just keep in mind we have questions coming in from 3 different places. So
right.
if you see us or hear us answering questions that you don't see, we're not ignoring you or skipping over things. We're trying to get to everything, but we've got stuff coming in from Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So keep that in mind. No need to get spicy.
Are we zoomed out a little bit this week on the? I feel like it's been a little bit
wider,
more intimate.
Yeah, I've been told to go wider for the
really?
feed.
Okay.
Yep.
Quick note that we missed last week. Sorry about that, but we're filming our upcoming YouTube feature with the Stig Ben Collins, who came and drove one of our B9 S4s at Laguna Seca, and on some of the local roads here up into the mountains. So look forward to a piece from him about our experience. If you don't follow him, check him out on YouTube.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good content up. It's a blast to watch.
Yeah, as my kids would say, be sure to smash the subscribe and like button.
Smash it.
And we're very excited to see it. There was a whole film crew there from LA.
Some of the preliminary video and shots are just stunning.
Yeah, amazing drone action. Possibly clouds rolling backwards. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But a thrill of a lifetime and career for us to be able to work with someone of that caliber. And car did great.
Yep.
And I think it's safe to say he liked our car. But we'll let you.
We'll let Ben speak for himself.
The piece when it comes out. And if you have any questions about our experience last week, feel free to throw those in too. All right, let's jump into questions. We got questions pouring in. B9.5 SQ5, new front ResX and ResX X pipe. Any drone with them together and sound clip of both installed. I think marketing's working on that additional sound clip. In my experience, you won't have any drone with one or the other. But when you do combine them, you start to open up the exhaust to a level that drone becomes more of a thing. I still don't think it's terrible. Drone and exhaust loudness is a very subjective thing. But if you're worried about it, I would say just do the front pipes for now. The feedback on those has been very good.
Yep.
We'll go from there. But we'll try to post that for you. Is that something you guys have on the radar? Yeah. So it's on the marketing's radar to film that. Is your 3.0T billet oil filter housing compatible on the C-REC as well? No, it is not. That C-REC is a little different. Sorry about that. I'm not sure. I don't think we have plans to do one for C-REC, but maybe we should look into that. Mark, write that down. Does dynamic mode increase transmission wear? Is it safe or smart to always drive my car in dynamic? I don't believe it does.
No. There's no additional wear depending on mode. It's literally we've talked about this before too. The least amount of wear you can have on a transmission is almost going to be the worst feeling in driving from a harshness level. So the faster the shift, the sharper it engages, and the snappier it is actually going to be some of the least wear typically, depending on a lot of other variables. But generally, it's going to be your shortest clutch engagement time, so your slip durations and slip amounts on various components are reduced. So nope, going to dynamic is not going to change any kind of wear or service intervals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If the transmission is working in a way that feels good and seems right, then it's probably good for it.
Yep.
But when you have transmissions with hard and kind of unpredictable, or what we call unsmooth shifts, when you have your RPMs hunting and things like that, which we see in a lot of other
slow
calibrations.
wavering shifts are generally going to be the
Mm-hmm.
least friendly for your your training parts.
Yep. But yeah, it's quite the opposite. A hard, fast, decisive shift is might feel hard on your body or your eyeballs, but transmission doesn't mind it at all. Yeah. As long as it's
within
done
reason.
correctly.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
You can always overdo things and get into actual harsh drivetrain shock loads.
Nothing in a way that we would do.
Nope.
Yeah. Someone's asking about a B9 S5 dipstick. Mark, write that down. I think Mark's probably in that.
He's in the air right now.
But maybe someone can be writing this stuff down. Marketing, can you guys take those? All right, thank you. The eyebrows. Why can't your B8 and B9 S4 do a 9X? 9.0.
B8, which one?
B8 and B9 S4.
B8, those are very different questions.
Yeah. B8 S4s can do.
We've had a
nines.
customer that did it.
Yeah.
It took some extra go sauce.
Yeah, the S4 not a problem. We just haven't really ever set out to do it.
Yeah, we've had very little time personally at the direction, but we've got customers running SQ5s in the nines.
Low nines.
It's very doable and very much been done both with the S4, RS5, and one B8.
We talked about this before. We would much rather have our customers doing this stuff than us. What better way for you, whoever's asking this question, to feel comfortable knowing that is something that you could do if our other customers are doing it as well. We've had some competitors that have gutted cars, put wrinkle slicks, put 8-inch brake rotors on their car, made the car virtually undrivable to get into the nines. And so what? All right, so a company went and spent $150,000 running a 9. That's not a big deal. But when you have David Musienko with his B9 SQ5, who's a great guy, but just like a normal guy who lives a few states away from us, doing it repeatedly for years, that's telling. The other thing we talk about a lot is getting a car to get a fast ET has a lot more to do with the drag racing setup than it does the tune or the horsepower. You can go to any drag strip on a Saturday and see, a V8 powered, 1960s car running 7s or 8s with 350 horsepower, with huge wrinkle slicks on the back, running 1 second 60 foots. So it doesn't tell you a lot about the motor. The trap speed is more telling, and we've run very fast trap speeds with our own cars as well as with customer cars. But getting off the line, that 60 foot, that has a huge determining factor on how fast your ET is. And you can have two cars with the same exact tune, same exact motor setups, same exact power, and you can have one car running a second faster ET just because of the wheel and tire setup. So our goal here isn't to run 9s, it's to produce the fastest, smoothest, safest tunes on the market. And if that helps you go 9s, great.
And people have. Yep.
If it means that your daily driver full weight street car runs 10 threes back to back over and over again, great. That's what we're here to do. The tuner that is running 8s with their B9 S4 or 7s with their RS3, I mean, that's fun, that's cool, it's going to get you a lot of clicks on YouTube, but says nothing about the quality of the products, the engineering, or your experience as a customer who's never going to do that and just wants to get to work and back, or drop your kids off at school on the way to work with your 700 horsepower S4. Yep. That's what we're focused on.
Yeah. If you want a one trick pony and want to go, just live your life a quarter mile at a time, then that might.
We're not a drag racing.
That's not what we're.
We're definitely not a drag racing company, but drag racing is a part of how we show you guys, how our products work. But we're not spending a lot of time and energy, to go run 9s or whatever. Let's see. B9 SQ5 Stage 1 brake boosting is okay. I've got better at it, but could imagine rolling anti-lag from a low speed takeoff. Yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot.
We're going to have more options coming.
Yeah. Well, more options, and brake boosting is also a good option, which our tuning allows.
Yeah.
B8 S4 PCV relocation. Will it delete PCV entirely? Billet play. This is an update question. We don't have anything to say or offer right at this moment. This product is still in development. Are there any mods that I can install on my 2025 B9.5 S5 that would add significant gains without flashing the ECU and TCU? No.
Not power-wise. We can help you out certainly in the gains in the cornering, braking, overall feel of the chassis department. But outright power, you're not going to have anything available until you've got actual software changed on the
As we often discuss, the factory ECU is a torque request ECU, so it literally is controlling the power of the engine based on its tuning and calibration. So you could go put a bigger turbo or increase the airflow through the motor substantially, and the ECU is just going to manage the power back down to where it wants it to be. So what's so powerful about our tuning is we reprogram the ECU to ask for more power from the engine, and as long as it's available in the fuel system and the turbo system, etc., then the ECU will produce more power. It's sort of like, you're talking about gains, it's sort of like wanting to build muscle but not eating any protein. You're just not going to be able to do it. So the ECU is the key to unlocking that extra power. I don't know why, but on my B8 S4 Kli-Max standard use TCU tune is jerky under light load and particular throttle. And I recently switched to the drag only use for the track and it's super smooth. Do I switch back since it's drag use only?
Doesn't make sense why there'd be a difference. Those files are identical other than shift points. So the actual engagement stuff, everything is the same. The drag, well, let me take that back. I'd have to look. The drag one may be based off of the race file, so that you have standard, race, and then within the race there's a drag use that just changes some shift points for some people to be able to run out of gear a little longer on the drag strip. But the actual, the rest of the mapping is identical. So if you're noticing a difference, I mean, I would flash back and see if maybe you were just remembering differently or it cleared up and something changed, but there should be no difference between the two. So feel free to flash back to the standard file and see what your thoughts are there. If you do truly feel a difference, hit us up, and we can just investigate to make sure. See if we can determine why. But no, there should be zero part throttle, light load difference between those files.
Someone's asking about the top hat on the desk here. I can talk about that. So we have had this MQB street density strut mount out for a long time. I don't know, 8 years now or whatever. Sold tens of thousands of them, and it's always been a 70 durometer strut mount, which has has seemed fine, but over the years we have gotten feedback that some users have felt the NVH from the 70 durometer strut mounts was higher than they'd like. And so after many years of hearing this feedback here and there, definitely not broad-based feedback, but easy enough for us to bring a 60 durometer option to the market. So that's what this is. This is our, and I don't have the part number listed here, but it's the MQB Mark 7 era density line upper strut mount, just in a slightly softer durometer. It's still going to be stiffer than factory, but softer enough to improve the NVH and feedback from kind of the vibrations that get transmitted from the suspension up through the strut towers. $146 a pair, retail price. Great OEM Plus upgrade option. Definitely strongly recommend doing something like this if you're doing anything with your suspension. In addition to being stiffer, this inner sleeve here where the strut mounts, we vulcanized that to the mount assembly, so it's all one piece. So the factory cup is not vulcanized. So when they mold the mount, they come in afterwards and they weld the two halves of the cup together. And so when those can slide in the mount, they make this squeaking sound. So by vulcanizing the cup to the mount and making it one piece, there's nothing on this mount that can squeak or make any sounds. This mount is a totally silent assembly, and it's virtually one piece, thanks to everything being vulcanized and attached together. So if you have any questions about that, let us know. Those are in stock, ready to ship on our website. And then someone's asking, my 2018 Audi S5 right front axle needs replacement. What do you recommend as a replacement, aftermarket or OEM? When it comes to CVs and axles, I always recommend OEM. The OEM axles typically use higher quality steel, and what we've seen across many instances is aftermarket axles, while they will physically bolt in and probably be fine for the bottom 90th percentile of drivers, for performance driving, they're not as strong as the OEM stuff, which use much higher grade steel and better quality components. So if you're just putting around, aftermarket's probably fine, but if you are enthusiast driver, which sounds like you might be, I don't like spending OEM money on OEM parts. We're literally the antithesis of that, but OEM's the way to go, I think.
Yeah.
Or like a good used OEM.
Sure, yeah, just a user replacement. I mean, yeah, the only real upgrade would be if you go into like the just much more expensive, higher end replacements. So a specific like bespoke,
like drive shaft shop.
Yeah, something of that line would be where I'd go. But yeah, the generic replacement parts, anything not OEM, we have never seen them hold up as well as the OEM stuff.
B9 SQ5 Stage 1, is the jump from Stage 1 to Stage 2 mostly hardware limited or calibration limited? Well, Stage 2 just simply supports a racing cat.
Yeah.
For competition racing use.
Yeah, it requires that you have all of the other supporting mods in place, but you can install everything but the cat in Stage 1 and get almost all of the benefit there.
Yeah. I bought a Stage 1 2012 A6 and want to transfer my tune to my 2014 A7. Is that possible?
No.
Yeah. You could email customer service and see what they say. They have policies about that. But typically, we do not do those type of tuning transfers unless you've totaled your car or something like that. But you can shoot them an email and see what they say. this is, I don't know how to answer this question, but someone's asking, why do A6s with the C-REC engine have such a hard time hitting 10-second quarter miles compared to non-C-REC engines? Shouldn't the added fuel and cooling benefits on the C-REC make it easier?
It's all down to just calibration, development, how many people are actually running these cars.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of 10-second A6s either on the the non-C-REC cars.
No.
So there's no reason the C-REC certainly can't hit it. But again, it's just how many people are out there trying, and what kind of effort has been put into the drag strip itself for a given platform.
Yeah, and then the C-REC tuning isn't as far as the regular 3.0T supercharger tuning. So things like ALC are coming from us, and we just now this year have released Stage 2 and
2 Plus is
2 Plus is coming out soon. So yeah, they'll get there. And like I was saying earlier, a lot of it's the setup. What wheel and tires do you have? Are you putting on light rotors? Are you lightening the car? Weight reduction? All those things contribute to ET. Have you ever looked into the option to tune the sport diff like Audi did with the RS4 S5 B9 competition models?
Lightly. That is something we've talked about. Not going to say not an option, but we don't have any active calibration work on it right now.
Mm-hmm. Just went dual pulley from stage 1 with your tune. Just went dual pulley from stage 2 with your tune. Car is absolutely no faster, literally draggy confirmed. 0.1 quicker in the quarter and 0.1 mile/hour slower, all 0 through 4 tune. Can I send in a log?
Yep, definitely send us a log. A lot of times when we hear that, it's usually temperature related.
Yeah, heat soak.
Intake temps are getting too high, and it's you're pushing a bunch more air, and the more or trying to push more air, and the more pressure that supercharger's trying to push against, the faster the rotors are spinning, the hotter the air temps get. So it's a lot more thermal load to manage. So we'd want to take a look at and make sure that's working correctly on your car.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Number 2 seems like a trolley question.
I'm not going to go anywhere.
I would point them to the fact check video.
Yep.
Questions about oil. Should we use 0W30 or Audi-recommended 0W20 on a stage 3 0 through 4 tune? We do, at this point, require or strongly recommend 5W40.
Yeah, I think we've listed that as a requirement for a while now.
Yeah. Can you run it with a different? Sure, but that's what we require. We only have so much control over what you do, so. But we would list it as required. Hey guys, currently getting the S34 insuction bundle installed on my Mark 8 GTI during the live stream. Nice work. You're getting the full 034 experience. I think the next step is spacers. What size should I do to get a flush look? So this is our recommendation. Take it for what it's worth. We'll recommend 10 millimeter front, 15 millimeter rear for factory 19-inch wheels. Or 15 mil front, 20 mil rear for factory 18-inch. And if you have aftermarket wheels with different offsets, it's gonna change. Looking at your MQB street density dogbone mounts, are these designed to work well without any inserts? My stock mounts are bad, and looking to upgrade the mount without adding too much NVH. Yeah, the dogbone mount is a stiffer version of the factory mount, so it will work just fine without inserts. It will be even stiffer with inserts. So if you're looking for an upgrade without adding too much more NVH, then I would say the inserts as is a great way to go. I'm sorry, the dogbone mounts as is are a great way to go. And then you can add inserts if you feel like you'd like more. Nice thing is the inserts aren't that expensive, and they are easy to install and remove. When switching from E85 back to gas, I fill up the tank full from empty and idle for 15 to 20 minutes, then flash. The car shakes for a minute, then goes back to regular idle. Is this normal for a B9.5 A4?
It sounds like you're describing just catalyst heating. Oh wait, for a full tank? Oh, I have no idea. Just after a fill up.
For a minute. I don't. It's hard to know.
It's so hard to
by that.
Yeah, to diagnose that remotely and know what shakes for a minute.
But I will say these cars do
gas.
seem to have.
I mean, are
like
you changing your calibration when you do this, or are you still on your old calibration? If you're going E85 back to gas, my guess is you've still got E85 in the lines.
Sounds like he idles for 20 minutes, then he flashes, and then the car shakes for a minute.
Flash.
But I don't know. In my experience, there is some initial adaptation stuff with these cars.
Yeah, if it's immediately after a flash, yes, that
Yeah.
I would say that's not super uncommon.
Especially, I've had some pretty hard startups on the first startup.
The
or two afterwards.
the old Mark 6s used to be atrocious for that. They go through a bunch of like cam phaser learning and stuff. So
Yeah.
you start them up and it would just be like, and it would sound terrible for a minute.
Yeah. But if you have any questions or concerns, you can email tuning@034motorsport.com.
Yep.
My friend is selling a B6 S4 4.2 manual with 200,000 miles. Chains are allegedly done. Why shouldn't I get this car? But if I do get it, what parts for 0 through 4 should I get first?
I would confirm the allegedly.
Yeah, those cars are tough. The car itself is a great idea. It's a really nice V8 in an A4 S4 sedan body. I've driven a number of those cars over the years, and they're super fun on track. They're just nice, fun cars. But the motors like to blow up, and largely because there's a timing chain, which I think is like almost 20 feet long.
It's just a big one.
No surprise, it stretches a little
Yeah.
bit. And at some point, if it fails, all the moving parts inside your motor crash into each other. And then you're looking at like a $20,000 repair pretty much. And typically throwing in a used motor isn't a good option because it could do the same thing. So you end up buying a brand new motor from Audi. These motors also, for the most part, are not very easy to rebuild. Things like bearings and stuff are not available. There may be someone out there who's offering this stuff now, but in general, I would steer clear unless you're looking for a project or you have like an extra 20 grand sitting around, for a rainy day. You could, for example, get into a B8 S4, substantially more reliable, substantially more power, a lot more tuning potential.
I guess it's down to how much
Yeah.
are they asking for, and do you want projects?
But I mean, those cars sell cheap for this very reason.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I think if they didn't blow up, they'd probably be going for 15, 20 grand, still. But
Can't remember how badly the B6 suffered from the soft touch cancer inside on the interior parts too. The B7s were pretty atrocious.
that was that whole era, the B5, B6.
Where all the switches just kind of slough off the
That's
their
not even
coating.
but
But
that's a minor
No,
concern.
it is until you're in it and driving the thing. You're just like, oh my god, this car's just like melting around me.
Yeah. I mean, like, seriously, the B8 S4, you can get one
Yeah,
for 10 grand,
Yep.
15 grand. You get into a B8.5, they're like pretty nice new modern cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of good options, right?
Audi, yep.
Oh, you're fine.
Audi SQ5, been stage E85 for 15,000 miles and love it. What preventive maintenance should I do? I'm at 51,000 miles. I have done normal oil changes.
Do we know what SQ5 this is? B8 or B9? Oh, it's got to be B9 if it's E85. Preventative maintenance on a B9. I mean, we talked about this a bunch. 51K. Make sure water pump stuff's been done. That's kind of one of the Achilles heels on those. We would probably recommend like a transmission fluid change. You're at a good point to do that. Let me see what else has he got. Injectors, if you really want to get in there and make sure everything's tip-top, we do consider the injectors a maintenance item. 50,000 is probably a good point to look at doing that.
Mm-hmm. Nick, I don't want to.
No.
Do I get to face which direction I want to face? Jesus Christ. We're already in this whole thing. Just chill out. All right. Did you answer that last question?
I think so.
Sorry, I was distracted by Nick's instructions on where I'm supposed to face.
We can just turn around and talk to the wall.
Yeah, maybe I will. Someone's asking, how was your recent Laguna Seca Track Day? It was awesome.
It was a blast, yeah.
We talked about it a little bit. It was all coordinated with the Turn 8 Track Day, which is a great local track day organization. Lots of awesome, cars there of every kind of,
Yep.
Porsches and BRZs and Miatas and Teslas and anything and everything. McLarens. There were some other Audis there.
Yep,
which was
there's
great
another RS5 there. There was a RS3, I think a B9 S4 there as well. So
Yeah. RS5, did you say?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it was great. And then Ben Collins was there, so we were doing our thing with him, and there was just a line of people getting his autograph the whole time.
Super gracious for anybody there wanted to talk to him. He spent a lot of time with everyone essentially at the track.
I've been around famous people like that who are assholes, and he completely very gracious to anyone and everyone, even to his own crew.
Yep.
Very gracious guy. So consummate British gentleman, and very friendly, and really great guy. Great working with him.
Yeah.
We were already talking about the next
next?
project.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, no, it was a great track day. There was a few people that munched their cars.
As will happen sometimes, there were a couple of events with people trying to chase down Ben and or stay in front of Ben. May have overdriven themselves a little bit.
Yep.
But it was all in good fun in the end. But yeah, there was some folded sheet metal.
I think Ben
cars.
did definitely have a couple of people spin off. One right in front of him.
The guy couldn't have been happier about it either.
Yeah.
He came back in and super happy to have looped it in front of the Stig.
And then someone says, did Ben Collins beat all employee lap times at Laguna? Yeah, no, I'd say he was probably...
He's probably right around there.
I mean, no, I think he's definitely faster than all of us.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I was about to say he's probably the fastest guy there on track.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Because he would go on and be like, oh man, this S4 is cleaning up on everything. And it's like, well, it's a good car, yeah, don't get me wrong, but...
You're kind of piloting.
Yeah. So it sounds like he was running mid 135 in our car.
Thereabouts, yeah. We weren't timing laps. It's not what we were there for.
But that's quite fast in a B9 S4, so...
Yep, that is no slouch.
Also thanks to our parts and our
The whole thing was our catalog, yeah.
But he's a great driver, very good.
Yep.
Will you ever host a 034 sanctioned 034 customer track day? We
kind of do.
We do through Turn 8,
Yeah.
so at least once a year we'll do a 034 sponsored Turn 8 track day, but it's not. The thing is, for us to go rent the track and hire the paramedics and get the insurance and cater the food, it's a lot of extra work for us.
Yeah.
So Turn 8 does that, and then we just show up.
Yeah, and we like Javed said, we have a fully sponsored day where we're the primary sponsor for it. And we'll have generally our whole fleet of cars that we've got that we're doing testing or media stuff with out.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want a 034 track day with us, that's a good event to hit up, and then just support Turn 8 and come on out and drive around with us.
Yeah. I will say one problem is I don't know if there's enough Audi or Volkswagen track drivers to enable us to do that.
To do our own private day.
Yeah. I mean, figure even if we're going to do a day at Thunder Hill, which is one of the cheaper tracks near us, we'd probably have to have at least 40 cars out there just to break even.
Minimum. I mean, we're
at least
all of these clubs, because you run multiple sessions a day, you've got 150, 200 cars there. And of course, they're broken up into 3, 4, 5 groups. So it takes a lot to get a track day paid for.
Yeah, so I wish there was more Audis out there. There, like Nate said, there was 2
at the Turn 8 day. Yeah,
from
definitely.
us.
Let's pivot that.
And they were both. Well, no, there was the 8Y RS3,
Yep.
which was pretty much bone stock.
He was on a stock setup, yeah.
But the two B9s were our customers and have a bunch of our stuff, which is great. But yeah, we wish there was more Audi stuff out there. I don't think we're in a financial position to just float like a $80,000 tractor. So you have to get enough people to at least pay for most of it.
Yeah, and I mean the fact is we already put a lot of work and resources into the turn 8 days.
Yeah, they are a lot
for that crew, and they've been fantastic to run with. If you ever want to get on track, if you're not super familiar with it, if you want to come out with a very laid back but active and enthusiastic track day group, they've been fantastic to work with.
We have a lot of questions.
All right, let's keep going.
Hello, is this top mount, MQB top mount for the VAG platform, is it compatible with the Öhlins Road and Track? Yeah, so this is for the Volkswagen Audi MQB platform, which covers a range of vehicles from Golf, GTI, TT, TTRS, TTS, Tiguan, what am I missing? S3, RS3, etc. This is, I believe even the MQB Evo uses this mount. So, yeah, if you go to our website and you pull this product up, you'll see, if you see your product or your car under the application list, then it's compatible.
Yep. And anything that uses the stock upper mount, this is a direct drop-in. So as long as the Öhlins kits or any of these others don't replace, and they don't, as long as they don't replace that upper mount, you're good to go.
I don't know about Road and Track, but there are many coilovers like KW and Öhlins that come with their own aluminum top mounts.
Yeah, I'm just trying to check quick. I think the Road and Track does use this mount.
Yeah, but like Nate said, if it's compatible with the factory strut mount, it's compatible with ours.
Yep.
Someone says they love Nick, and we love him too, so great to hear.
Didn't even specify which Nick, so we'll
we do
send
have
the love to
several
all the
Nicks
Nicks.
that work here. But no, I think all the Nicks here are very lovable. I have a 2013 A7 3.0T supercharger. If I put any of the crank pulley with no tune, will it throw a check engine light?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, 2013, you've got a little bit of buffer there. It's not as sensitive as like the CRECs that actually have a speed sensor on them.
But is there boost threshold?
Yeah, you're just going to be bleeding off more boost, so you're going to be making more heat for no additional go. So it's not a great idea.
Yeah, you'll be maxing out your boost bypass system.
Yep. So you just take, the ECU is going to request the same amount of boost, and so the the rotors in the supercharger are going to be spinning faster, and so to manage that, it has to circulate the air back. And it doesn't just dump it to atmosphere; it puts it back into the charger, so it just heats it up over and over again.
Yeah, I guess I'd ask, like, why do you want to do this? What's that? Is it just a temporary thing, or because if you do that, you'll be fine.
It'll work, but
as long as you don't go like wide open throttle a lot. You just want to, but you could drive around like normal.
Yep.
If you all made an uber stiff or super duper stiff bundle for Mark 8 that features all the inserts, sway bars, and springs, I'd load up the AMAX ASAP. Well, that's great to hear. I do think that would just be a handling package, right?
super toy.
Yeah. We don't have one for the Mark 8 out yet.
Okay. Yeah, we got to put that together.
Right. We are working on that. We will have a handling and acceleration pack out for the Mark 8 as soon as it's done. Can Stage 1 E85 cause catalytic converter issues?
Not that we have ever seen, or I can't think of any reason why it would. Honestly, E85 is kind of the gentlest of all the calibrations on catalytic converters, just because of your EGTs are generally going to be much easier to manage with the 85. It's just a side effect of being able to run more ignition advance and having more of that burn happen inside the combustion chamber than sending it down the downpipe and catalyst. So generally, it's actually easier on them.
God, I mean, how do we have so many questions?
So many. It's like we didn't do this for a week or something and saved it up.
There was one here. Waiting for the 034 intercooler for B9. Any news? Actually, interestingly enough, as I left my office and walked through the engineering office, one of our hardware engineers had this up in CAD working on it. So it is coming. We are also playing with some interesting ideas on how to maximize thermal efficiency. That I believe will be welcome to the market without going into too much detail. Based on things we're learning by tracking these cars. What about a 034 sponsored drag racing event? We have done those. Yeah. Drag strips are much cheaper to rent out. I think it's like $5,000 to rent a drag strip for a day. Unfortunately, the drag strip we used to do that with has closed, and I believe just about every drag strip in California has either closed or on its way to closing. It's like a mass extinction event for drag strips. The last drag strip, Sacramento Raceway, I believe, was turned into some type of mine.
Oh, really?
Because the property is like on an ancient river creek bed, and so they're gonna like mine it for gold.
Yeah, I hadn't heard. I was actually just trying to follow up on it. Their Facebook's still sort of there.
Yeah, are they? I mean, I know they hadn't closed.
Nothing since January has been posted, so I think they're shut down.
Yeah, they've been talking about shutting down for a while.
Yeah.
So we actually don't even have the nearest drag strip to us is where? Lancaster,
something like that.
I mean, I really think it could be like a 4 or 5 or 6 hour drive to the next drag strip. It sucks. I don't know why some Silicon Valley billionaire hasn't just built a new drag strip and near Tracy. I guess Sears Point.
Yeah, Sears. There are a couple, but there's so many compromises with a lot of those. Sears Point, it ends uphill. It's not a great drag strip.
Uphill, and it's always packed, so you really can't get a lot of runs.
Yep.
That's like a legit NHRA drag strip still. But
it is, which is interesting, but it's never been a good track to run at, you can say.
No, we used to go and you'd be there for like 7 hours and you get 3 runs. It's just stupid.
Yep.
I saw TTE posting about the TTE 850 prototype. Can you talk about what goals are for the bigger TTE turbo for the B9 platform? I don't know. We work closely with TTE, but they also post a lot of stuff out there that we don't know about, and then we hear about it from you guys first. It's a little frustrating. But we're doing our best to work with them. We are testing a number of prototype turbos with them. I'd say the main goal, and you can add to this, Nate, coming off the 810, the traditional 810 that we've been using for a while now, is that it uses factory turbine and compressor housings. And while they're machined out and hogged out for bigger compressor and turbine wheels, the housings are still restrictive, which results in excessive back pressure in the exost manifold through the motor.
You're just limited based on basically your exhaust back pressure, so your EMAP.
So it's something that we've worked with, and the current tunes are perfectly safe, but they are limited by this, and we have to take that into account. So the newer bigger turbos will not only have higher compressor flow, but just be higher flowing housings. Now, there's no free lunch here. The bigger, higher flowing housings do create more lag, and they take the turbo longer to create the same amount of boost. So not only does this create a little bit more lag as you're revving up through the rev range, but in shifts, between shifts, you're gonna feel that extra time to refill.
If you're lifting, I mean, thankfully, we've got such digital shift control. The between shift drop off isn't nearly as bad on these cars unless you lift.
Well, certainly not if you're in the power band, but if you do shift, let's say, and you come back down to 4,000 RPM, you're gonna feel it. But yeah, if you're revving essentially to the rev limiter, you're gonna fall back.
Yeah. They just drive like a bigger turbo.
Yeah. But that's not a free lunch. So, but as a result, they will make more power, and I'm not sure what the next turbo is going to be called, or what the power rating is, but we're maxing out the new prototypes, and we're giving feedback to TTE. So there'll be more coming, and I don't see any full frame options on the horizon needed.
It's
with these new housing options.
Yeah.
There's no reason we can't go hundreds of more horsepower here.
Yeah, the only thing a full frame option would get you is the ability to drop in an off-the-shelf turbo, but then you're compromising everything else around it just to be able to do that. To be able to get the packaging nicely done into that housing is really the right way to go with new castings.
Sam in the UK says, I recently installed your Stage 1 and ECU and TCU tune in my B8.5 S4. Amazing performance. Disappointed there were no faster stickers in the packaging. Sorry about that. We're supposed to. We have a new sticker package that we've been including in every shipment. It should be all the stickers you could want and more, but maybe it was left out for some reason. So, if you'd like, please shoot us an email to sales@034motorsport.com, and we will promptly post some to the UK for you. Definitely want you to have those stickers.
Yep.
And glad you're happy.
Yes.
We're chuffed, as they would say. On the 3.0 TFSI supercharged motors, how do you change the supercharger coolant pump PWM duty cycle compared to the factory mapping?
It's all spec'd in the calibration, so it's just another calibration parameter. It's how we change it, but what we ask of it is that it's much more proactively trying to keep the intake temps cool. So the factory stuff is very reactive, where it waits until you're like in boost and air temps are over a certain threshold before it turns on basically at all. We bring all that down and try and have it continually circulating. Basically at any time the air temps are above freezing, essentially. Just to keep the system as cool and basically thermally reduced as possible. So yeah, it's all in the calibration, and we do what we can to kind of optimize your temps in there.
Mm-hmm. The revs only go to 2,000 RPM and then fall back down instead of holding for the launch. What could the issue be? 2014 S5.
It sounds like you're not in launch control. It sounds like the transmission's probably still grabbing it and pulling it back down.
Yeah.
You need traction control off. Make sure you don't have faults. If you've got any number of faults, either ECU or TCU, that can disable, or ABS even, that can disable the ability to get into launch control. So that's what it sounds like is going on. Is the transmission's just not letting you into launch mode. Because it should just be free rev. It'll come up to. I don't even think we have one that goes down to 2. I'd have to see how low it can go.
For question number 2, what's a BPS?
Sounds like a unit of power. Horsepower. PS?
Brake horsepower?
PS?
I mean, that's a pressure rating.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's
yeah,
not a
no.
question. B9.5 S4 rear sports diff, weeping oil around solenoids and seals, going in for warranty. Any tips before I go in? Well, I mean, I would undo any tuning that you have on your ECU and go back to factory tuning. Yeah, I mean, if you're I'm not sure what
If
the
he's
nature
even
of the question
tuned,
is.
yeah.
Definitely grab a free latte when you're there.
Yeah.
They have good lattes, and Tanza loves grabbing a couple bottles of water and just taking them home with us. And the way she feels like she's been slightly compensated to be at the dealership, which is nice to offset whatever inconvenience. But no, I think I'm glad to hear you're getting warranty, so hopefully that works out.
Yep.
Between a B9 RS5 and a B9 S5, planning on going stage 3 regardless of platform, is there really any benefit to RS5 over S5? I've seen the S5 actually makes more power on TT810. They are different cars. The RS5 has wider fenders. You can put more tire, substantially more tire under the RS5. The RS5 has different gearing, which we've found to be really nice.
Yeah, it's got a tighter final drive on it.
Yeah. And honestly, the air-to-water intercooler system works very well.
But yeah, the RS5 overall has just more cooling. Your base level amount of cooling is just
has all the
better than the S series.
All the factory cooling. So, with that said, our S4 in its current state drives as fast and fun as an RS5, with less tire, longer, taller gearing, and less cooling. But there's things you can do to get the S4 cooling up to RS5.
Yep.
But the air to water setup means that there's just more air getting to the radiator on an RS5, which really helps as well. So, and then they look very different. So the RS5 is a good looking car. I especially like the coupe. The Sportback's fine, but I would take the coupe. So, yeah, it's really up to you. I'm sure there's more differences too. You get the little seat belts, helper extender arms on the RS5, which you don't get on the S4. Good way, if you want to impress people at parties, you take them out to the RS5 and, have the car hand them the seat belt. That's pretty cool.
Steve just wanted to remind you that you have to move. Your watch just told you.
Oh yeah, how did he know?
He saw it on the stream.
Yeah, this is why I like standing.
50 minutes in.
I really like standing. I have to go out of my way to stand an extra hour these days now.
We can elevate this whole thing, make it a standing desk, and just bring everything up.
Can't stand. Got to look at each other. What on the 0-4 SPI app? What is the B9 ECU Stage 1 high-speed logger? What does it do?
So I think that what they're asking is sometimes we'll have calibrations up that are available or it shows up as a product in there. The high-speed logger is just what it says. It enables some additional logging ability within the ECU that we've added, and it's generally for higher speed logging. It's kind of as it says in the tin. So you'd normally flash that on the ECU first, and then pick your calibration that you're looking to run. So it would be stage 1, whatever fuel you're on. In this case, it sounds like so. It's not required. It's very much a nice to have, or if we're working with you on getting some more additional data logs and need to see something specific, and we can't get out of the base level logging that the factory allows, then we'll ask you to flash this, and then we can basically see anything within the ECU.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough about that. Before I forget, I have some unused 034 parts for the B9 S4 from hell. Rest in peace. Sorry to hear that. Is there any official 034 secondhand market for unused, gently used parts? You could post them, I believe, in our customer group, if you're a member there. If you're not, you can join. Our parts typically do very well in the secondhand market, especially if yours are unused. You can post them on Facebook Marketplace. We see our stuff selling on eBay. There's a lot of classified groups, like the Audi Club has a classified group. The Audi Performance and Builds group that's run by the Greek Tesla. I don't know how do you say their name?
It's something salsa and feta.
Yeah, George and staff, their group has a good Audi classifieds and a Volkswagen classified. So go from there. If you post and find someone who's happened to be interested in that part, you're probably going to sell it. So you just never know. Just got EBC yellow stuff for my B8.5 S4. Do you guys plan on releasing your own set of pads as well as solid rotors for the B8? We do. We are working on that. Stay tuned for more.
We have the rotors for the B8 up already, right?
Not solid rotors.
Solid.
We're doing
one piece.
We're doing solid
one
one-piece rotors, yeah.
Vented.
Yes.
One-piece rotors.
Do you guys think the B8.5 DSG could benefit from a bigger trans oil cooler specifically for road course driving? Love the live streams. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Glad
Those
you
are
like that.
tricky ones to cool if memory serves, just due to the fact that they run operate at such a high pressure. Keeping the coolers together is not trivial for just the aftermarket stuff that's out there. You really need a specifically designed cooler.
DSG temp's not really a big problem?
It can be on really extreme days, but they're honestly pretty well managed.
Someone's asking for 034 Motorsport aluminum gas caps and upgrade attachment for the B8 S4. Interesting. B9 S4. What's something that no other tuner shops have done that you would consider making? I saw this question. I don't know.
Like that we haven't yet.
I mean, we literally sell stainless steel testicles on our website, and I don't believe anyone else does
Our
that.
product line knows no
I
end.
feel like we're already way out ahead just based on that alone.
Yeah. I mean, we in general, if we don't have it and we have a need for it, we will build it. I mean, that's our entire software effort has been from the ground up built because nothing existed that did what we wanted to do. Myriad of the parts we make were, first to market on a bunch of different solutions for these things. So we're already kind of doing that.
Well, that's a really good point. And if you, I don't know, it's hard for me to talk about this because I sound kind of like a self-angride and how do you say that? Self-aggrandizing. I know how to write it, but I never say it.
Not sure where you're going.
I just sound like a self, like a delusional self promoting, whatever. But like in the year 2000, when I started doing 034 stuff, none of this stuff was available. I mean, APR hadn't started yet. There was literally like Bennett had started doing some stuff for like
A bunch of OEM swap around stuff, yeah.
There was like Total Audi Performance in Florida, which was
God.
literally like a fraudulent scam joint that would just steal people's money.
Tap tuning.
And there was like Ned Ritchie doing intended acceleration, which was like Zener diode chips for like Audi 5000 turbos. Nobody was putting Garrett turbos on Audis. Nobody was converting Audis to fuel injection or standalone. Nobody was drag racing Audis. I mean, it was just so I was in the automotive world, performance enthusiast world, and I just was like, what if someday like you could tune your Audi like you could tune a Honda or a Mustang 5.0 or something. So to Nate's point, I mean, just about everything we do now is something that nobody else was doing. And now you look at this whole industry that's come up as a result, they're all doing the stuff that I and we started doing in the early 2000s. So I know that, I don't know, maybe someday, there'll be like a industry award for someone who innovated it, but it's probably not going to happen. So I'll just have to sound crazy when I talk about this stuff. But yeah, no, just about everything you see here, this being able to tune your Audi and double the horsepower and modify every part of the car, that's new.
And it can be simple little stuff, like, I mean, inserts and stuff. Like, we kind of pioneered all of that market, and it's been, duplicated and replicated and altered and various materials here and there. But
in 1998, if you had a C4 S4 and you wanted to modify it, you would go to Joe Hoppen Motorsport and they'd sell you a bunch of RS2 stuff. That was it. And on the early days of the Audi forums, I would go on there and I would say, how come nobody's running a Garrett turbo? Like,
they don't fit.
Only KKK turbos work on Audis. Like,
right.
Some magical thing about how the only turbo that would work is a Borg Warner, RS2 turbo. That was the only thing. So, pretty sure I was one of the first people to ever put like a Garrett T3 T4 on an Audi, and it was awesome. Like a
Turns out
$500 turbo.
Physics still worked across multiple turbo brands.
Yeah, certainly. There have been a few like private people that put standalones. Like there was one early guy. He put a Wolf EMS, which was like a four cylinder, and so I watched him and read what he did. But he was running like 2 injectors off one injector driver, and it was like wasted spark. And
Well, it had to be probably distributor still. It was just event based.
No, he had to keep the distributor for sure. So, anyways. All right. Well, I think we're just about out of time. We got one more jump
Sure.
on?
What do you got? Some stainless steel keycaps with some Cherry MX switches. Like that. Might be a little heavy on the throw. Let's see.
hidden update questions in here.
We can touch on maybe number 6. I don't know if you want to hit that one.
Okay. Can I ask of you guys ever decide to do even more maps, say on the B9 platform, such as for the built engine? Will that be an additional cost, such as an upgrade path, or will that be included on stage 3? That's a good question. It depends. In general, if we have to spend a lot of time calibrating a tune and making it available, then we would need to be compensated for that. So in some cases, we will just include it, but we're just gonna have to see.
It depends on the level of how different is it end up being from a stage 3 product for whatever it is we're doing in the future.
Yeah,
so
we're probably not going to call that stage 3. It's no longer a stage 3 tune.
Yeah.
So it's going to be stage 4 or whatever we call it. And so there would be an incremental difference. So if that tune retails for another $200, then you would only have to pay the $200 difference to get access to that file as well. But we'll see. Some of these things are just a little bit of calibration time. For us, easy to do, and we'll just include it. But we'll see. We have not decided.
Yeah, we don't have that ironed out. You'll have to see where it comes out in the product lineup. But
we are working on those.
Yep. They're actively being worked on right now for a number of those things for built motors and other combinations. So yeah, there's a lot. You'll have a lot more or a lot of options in the not too distant future for even more B9 calibration things. So yeah.
Okay, self-aggrandizing.
Oh,
Jesus. Okay,
there it is.
Sorry, I get tongue-tied sometimes. All right, well, I think that's enough for this
We're
week.
done self-aggrandizing.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. I think we'll be back.
Yep.
All right, cheers.